nowadays, if you don't have a digital presence, you essentially don't exist. And so a
Mhm.
lot of the dirt world contractors have been able to rely on word of mouth. That's dried up.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Landit podcast. This one is a special one today because for the first time, I'm bringing on the person who runs operations here at our marketing agency. This is Amanda Kroeker. Thanks for letting me get you on the microphone today. Glad you're here.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So a couple things about Amanda. We've got a long history. We've known each other. I was doing the math today, Amanda. I think it's 17 years, maybe 18, but I think for sure
Yeah,
17 years.
18. Hmm.
Dang, that's a lot. Our families have known each other for a while now. So we met in the South Texas, Rio Grande Valley, down in McAllen, Texas. My wife and I helped launch a church plant, and Amanda and her husband were part of that. And then we had like some farmers market stuff. Amanda had her own business for a little while, selling soap, and we had started baking pies, and so we were both selling those at the farmers market. And also funny, crazy side story. Amanda was my very first employee at my very first business too. So that was wild. Valley Safety Services. We were doing Red Cross type stuff. So
Yeah.
been through a lot, learned a lot, right? So Amanda's got moved up to Central Texas, up here in the same area, up in Waco now, and trying to get your own chickens, get some land. Maybe one of you dirt guys can make that happen for Amanda. She would really love that. Athlete,
Absolutely.
right? Self-proclaimed protein fanatic, right?
This is
So
true.
and so really, and now you're the operations director going on almost 4 years in December, which also blew my mind. We were talking about that earlier because I'm like, wait, I thought this was like 6 months to a year ago. You just started. This is crazy how time
I
is
know.
flying. So, yeah. So Amanda just rocks all of our operations, which means as a marketing agency, we have a lot of deliverables for our clients. And Amanda oversees, I think your count is like 17 employees, 17, 18 employees that you oversee at our company. And basically, when we sell something to a client, we say, hey, we're going to generate leads, we're going to do all this marketing. It's Amanda and all of her team that are basically hand the whole client off to her, and it's her job to make sure everybody's doing exactly what we promised we would do and start generating leads, help with marketing. But also, we've kind of been talking lately about helping guys even with like almost like consultation, like helping them figure out how to close deals, how to have conversations, how to answer the phone, like speed to lead stuff. We're going to get into some of that today. But here's why this matters, because we just wrote a book, Landed in the Dirt World. It's a marketing playbook for the dirt world, right? So this is actually, and it's not like a theory book. It's an actual like chapter by chapter things that you could do on your own. And I don't want to make today just like a big book launch. This is not really why Amanda's here, but what we want to do is get into like why it matters and why this is helpful and beneficial to you guys. We've talked on this podcast with numerous guys about a lot of subjects, and one that comes up often is marketing. And we don't try to make it a marketing podcast, but today we're going to talk about marketing because we know a lot of you guys, especially if you're starting out, you can figure out how to run a machine, but you can't figure out how to get the phone ring. And then we got another category of dirt world guys who are been doing business for a long time, have got a lot of sales, but they've never done marketing because they've relied heavily on word of mouth. But now times have changed. The COVID golden era has slowed down, and guys have to go back to doing real marketing to get in front of real people. It's just more competitive. So we wanted to talk about that and help you guys with that. So we'll do this two ways. I'm going to put Amanda in the hot seat. She's going to put me in the hot seat. By the end, you're going to walk away with stuff that you can do tomorrow morning. We want to give you some real practical hands-on stuff. So I've spoken a lot. Let's get into it. So Amanda,
Awesome. I'm
let me
ready.
ask you, why this book? Why should we write a book on marketing for the dirt world other than it's just fun?
Yeah, it's nowadays, if you don't have a digital presence, you essentially don't exist. And so a
Mhm.
lot of the dirt world contractors have been able to rely on word of mouth. That's dried up. We've even had some who've come in who had they've got 30-year businesses that have
Yeah.
been on word of mouth, and it's not at all working anymore. And they realize I
Mhm.
got to get a website. I got to get in front of people. This is not your yellow pages phone book anymore.
Oh yeah.
You've got to have a digital
Yeah.
presence to be found at all. And
Yeah.
and you've got to spend money to make money, unfortunately, but that's the name of the game, and nobody's going to know who you are outside of that. So um dirt world guys, I love you guys a lot. You'd rather be at a machine. I
Yeah.
get that. You don't really want to
Yeah.
be spending time on the
Just
computer,
want to
so that's
operate.
where we come in.
Yeah.
Exactly. um and I tell almost everyone I talk to, like, I don't know how to run a machine, so
Yeah.
you do
Same.
you. We'll do us. We'll
Yeah.
take care of
Yeah.
each other, and
Yeah. Same.
we'll make it happen for you.
Yeah, and I think we did marketing for a number of years. This is we're in year 10 of this agency, and Amanda's been on for 4, but the first like half or more, actually the first like 6 7 years, 6 7. I can't believe I did that. Sorry, my bad.
Wow.
I know that was pretty terrible. But we, the first like big chunk of time we spent working with a lot of different industries, and there are some industries that are a little bit more like just their mindset is toward marketing. They understand marketing. They know that if we're going to do this business, there's no way to not do marketing. We have to. And what we found is in the dirt world, like it almost isn't on people's radars for a long time. Like you said, like we're operators, right? They just want to get in the machine and do that and do some digging, do some clearing, and just wait for the phone to ring. But what happens is all these competitors come up, or word of mouth starts drying up because the development's not there, or we've seen inflation cause a real pullback on some of the
Oh
development
yeah.
stuff. So there's just a lot of things going on, and these guys are like, wait a minute, my phone's not ringing. What do I do? Like, how do I do this? And for a lot of guys, they're like, well, I just don't want to pay for a marketing agency yet. Like, I'm not in the size, I don't have the budget, whatever. And so again, just trying to, okay, well, if you can't afford full scale marketing, then we thought, let's just go ahead and put everything we do for our clients in a book so that you guys can just implement some of this stuff yourself, or at least get your head around like what's important, where do I start, what could I do on my own before maybe I do hand it off to a marketing agency, right? So
Yeah,
what would
there's
I
a lot of guys who they'll have a pretty long job, like a pretty extensive job that they're
yeah,
covering for a while, and it's good for a while, but then when they're getting toward the end, they're realizing, oh, I don't have a next thing on the calendar.
yeah,
And so this is, really meant to be beneficial for situations like that, where
yeah,
you don't know where the next job is coming from, but you can have it laid out right there in your pipeline if you get that foundation online.
right, for sure. There's some things that are actually kind of easy to do. Like, I get it, running ads and all that can be overwhelming, and you're like, holy cow, how do I set all that up right? But just getting a map listing up, right? How hard is that? So things like that,
Yeah.
just to get them started, is some of the stuff we want to do. But um, let me ask you this, Amanda. We have 80 something clients. You've worked now with over 100 of these kind of guys, well over 100 these kind of guys for a long time now. What would you say our most successful guys have in common when it comes to all of this?
Yeah, they are getting back to their leads within 5 minutes, or they're picking up right away. And
Mm,
that's probably one of the single biggest factors, is they are on top of it. If they miss a call, they're calling them back. They're not waiting for tomorrow. And they have
mm-hmm,
some system in place that keeps track of those leads so that
mm-hmm,
they know who to follow up with later on, because there's no way to keep track of that all in your head or even on
mm-hmm.
a piece of paper or the contacts on your phone. There's a system in place for reaching the leads
Yeah,
immediately, following up with the leads um, as communication continues.
yeah. So it's not just the marketing, right? Like the guys who are most successful aren't just good at getting the phone ringing, but it's actually in the how well they follow up, how quick they follow up, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's going to set the tone. If you think about being a buyer, you're probably going to call a lot of companies at one time. Whoever's the
Yeah.
first one to get back to you, you're going to spend a little more time with,
Yes.
and you're going to learn a little bit more about that second or third one that calls you back. Like, you've heard a spiel a couple of times. You don't,
Oh yeah.
you kind of remember the conversation you had with the first one. So you got to be that first one in.
Yeah. I've shared this story multiple times. I think the last episode I was talking about real quick, and we made a YouTube video recently as well. But I'm frustrated because I've had two different contractor types. One was solar shades, and one was roofing. and I text 5 and 5, and I went to online. So some of these guys were paying for marketing, some guys weren't. I get it, but I sent a text, I sent a photo. I mean, I was a real buyer, and 5 and 5, and both contractor types only heard back from two of each, and only one, both of them had responded within. I mean, neither of them had responded quickly, but within 24 hours, I got one, and then the second one days later. And both times, I hired the first guy, and I don't think they
Hmm.
were the least expensive. I don't even know if they were really the best. But I was so frustrated because nobody else would just give me the opportunity to see if they were good. They didn't even want my money, and I ended up hiring those guys. And so I talk about this all the time. Like half the game just feels like answering the phone quickly. If you can't answer it, have an
Hmm.
automation in place through a CRM or something that can auto respond just to keep it, warm until you can jump on that phone. But that's part of it.
Yeah.
What would you so speed to lead is one. What else? I mean, obviously pricing is going to be a big piece to that. What else would you say is important for those guys that are killing it?
Yeah, I would say not just relying on one platform, but having content fresh on multiple platforms.
Yeah.
So you've got to get videos at your jobs, you've got to get photos at your jobs, you got to put them on your social media, put them in your ads, put them wherever you can, because that's going to show constant updates. It's going to build the trust signals that you need to be
Hmm.
found, and just that constant update. It's every 3 months is not a good cadence to be getting new content out
Oh,
there.
you're
It should
right.
be way more often.
Yeah, you're right. That's something we're having a lot of combos right now with some of our clients is especially if you're running Facebook ads or meta ads, right? Like that machine is needing tons of content now. The updates there are requiring lots of it to keep putting it in front of different people at different times than it used to. That's only like a year old update. But now with AI, right? Like AI isn't just pulling from your website anymore. That's a big part of it, but it's also pulling from data across the internet. So Reddit, people talking about you on Reddit, you making posts or comments in Facebook groups, it's going to pull that. Obviously, your website, obviously, your map listing, your own social media channel. It's now reading photos. I was just researching this a couple days ago. When you ask Claude, look at this photo and tell me what you see, and it can give all of this detail. How can it do that? It doesn't have eyes, right? So it's literally
Yep.
reading the data in behind that. And so now every time you upload a photo to your map listing, Google's AI can read what's inside that photo. And the old school method was just it would read like, metadata, like where is it, where did you take the photo? What time did you take the photo? What date did you take the photo? But now it's pulling way more information. And so when you're uploading all that
Hmm.
stuff to the internet, you're feeding the machine, which should result in you being found more and pulled up in those search results. So I agree with that statement. Just a lot more content has to be put out there. So then on the flip side, Amanda, what would you say like the number one reason like campaigns underperform? Even when the marketing is going well, like when guys are just failing and needing to churn, need to get off, can't keep paying for marketing anymore, what would you say the number one issue is?
Yeah, what we see the most is that we're not getting the feedback that a lead is a good lead or a bad lead. So it's hard for us to refine the
Hmm.
campaigns. And we want to make sure that our target area is correct. It's a lot
Hmm.
wider for Dirt World than it is for, like a dentist office, for example.
Yeah.
You're going so much farther out. So that needs to be dialed in. The kind of customer you want. Are they commercial? Are they residential? Do you want just rural stuff? Do you want to do stuff for smaller homes? See, all of that needs to be dialed in. And there will always be some leads that come through that aren't the kind that you want. And it's
Yeah.
really tempting for somebody to just want to shut it off and
Yeah.
be done with it. Oh, my ads aren't working after a
Yeah.
couple weeks and a couple bad leads. But
Yeah.
you really have to teach the system what you are looking for.
Yeah.
So I know I don't want this one. Let's stop looking for those. What can we do to target differently?
Yeah.
So being quick to throw in the towel, I think, is a
Yeah.
big one that is a detriment to many.
Oh, for sure. We use What Converts software with all of our clients. And part of the value of that software we like is that we can then track where each lead came from, what source it came from, but then it can also be tagged whether it was a good, bad, or ugly lead, right? And what's great about that is then that information gets fed back into our ad stuff so that we start fine tuning our ads to be targeting the good ones and getting rid of the bad ones so that we can keep sharpening and sharpening and sharpening, right? Yeah, that's good. Another thing that I feel like I'm preaching a lot lately on some of this stuff, but another big one I keep hammering with guys is follow-ups. And not just speed
Yeah.
the lead. I know we've covered that, but like they may have called them, right? So a customer reaches out, "Hey, I'm interested in getting a quote." Great. I'll be out there Tuesday. Great. You go out Tuesday, you give them a price, or over the phone you give them a price, or you give them some info. Sounds good. And they say, "Yeah, let me think about it, or I'm just shopping around." Okay. And how many guys just go, "Okay, well, call me back when you're ready." And then, they get 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 of those stacking up. And then they say, marketing isn't working. I just,
Yeah.
they're all bad leads. I can't close them. When the reality is, and I pulled a lot of research on this, I've actually talked about in the book, is that majority of Americans, whenever they're spending a lot of money on something, a product, a service, they need at least 5+ touch points, meaning that they
Hmm.
have an initial sticker shock and then they're chewing on it, they're thinking about it, maybe they're calling someone else, they need to hear from you again. Hey, was there something I can adjust? Is there something I can share? And then they need to hear from you again and again and again. And so 80% of the nation won't hire or pay for something unless they've had at least 5+ touch points. But most
Yep.
contractors give up after the first one. I think I read somewhere around 80-90% of contractors will give up after one touch point because they're just like, well,
Yeah.
they'll call me if they need me, right?
Yeah. We'll hear sometimes like, oh, they weren't ready yet. I'm like, well, did you ask them though when they would be ready
Yeah,
so that you
right,
can follow up?
right, right.
So yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
I
we've
mean,
heard,
another big one here is when there is a slow season, there's always a slow season, especially up north
yeah,
where it snows,
yep,
is shutting everything off when it's slow. That's
yeah,
gonna stop. That's gonna just take you
all
completely out of
momentum
this algorithm and you're gonna
for
have to start
sure.
back over. So
Yeah,
keep that going.
undoing, that's for sure. Yeah, I heard a couple guys in the past be like, "Well, I just don't have time to be calling someone, 5 times." And I get it. I
Yeah.
don't want to call someone 5 times. And if you multiply it by, let's say you have 100 leads, right? Like, let's say your marketing's killing it. You got all these people calling and stuff. Yeah, you're not going to remember all that. So again, having some software, some smart software in place that has automated reach out touch points along the way so that you can stay in front of someone for a year, 2, 3 years until they say stop, right? Like our rule for our own agency is we
Hmm.
use that same software we ask our clients to use. And our rule is we're going to stay in front of them until they say no or yes. If they say no, we're going to nicely stop. Sure, no big deal.
Yeah.
But if
We've even
often
got
we've had,
an automation that if you say stop, it's just gonna it's gonna stop. You're not
yeah,
gonna
it's
get
gonna
anything
stop.
else.
That's right. Yeah. We've had some that are like, "You guys suck, get off of me." Like, "Okay, I'm sorry, that was the machine." But then we've had others that literally 6 to 9 months later after having probably 10 different texts and emails are like, "Thank you for that. Thank you just reminded me. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready to get started." And you're like,
Hmm.
man, had I not done that, you definitely would have gone somewhere else. And the same for all of our
Yeah.
clients. Same for all you guys that are listening right now. Stay in front of your leads. I guarantee you, you've got tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of work in your pipeline right now that you just have forgotten about. You got to go and follow back up with them. So anyway, I've hammered that one in the ground. Anything else on that in terms of like number one top performing guys, number one worst performing guys? Like anything else that you want to share on that? Like trends you've seen?
Well, maybe not necessarily in the top performing guys or the not top performing guys, but the expectation that you're going to land with as many leads that are very, large leads when you're just
Mhm.
starting out of the business. There's a point where you have to be patient. Like it's going
Yeah,
to speed up. It'll be faster if you have the right digital presence, if you've got the ads running. It
yeah,
will be faster to get there, but it's not going to be overnight. There
yeah.
is a lot of years of hustling that go into some of that where they've developed this practice. They are asking for reviews after every job. They know to answer the phone even if it says spam. They
Mhm.
just have this as part of their DNA at that point. And so it
Yeah.
takes a long time to get there.
Yep. That's good. All right. So what technique in the book do you think clients probably ignore the most? And what kind of impact, negative impact do you think that has?
Yeah, I actually think the 3M rule,
Hmm.
right at the beginning is a big one. Your market, your message, and your media. So a
Yeah.
lot of the time when we have a new client coming on board, I'll ask them, "What's your goal?" And I get a lot of the same
Mhm.
answer. I just want to make more money.
I just wanna make money. You're like,
Well, that's
"Okay, yeah,
absolutely right. We would love to do that for you. So,
yeah,
are you going after residential or commercial? Are you doing any civil or municipal work?
mhm,
Who's your market? And then what are you solving for them? What's this problem that your message is going to solve? And
yeah,
then where are they found? Um, you're probably not going to get a lot of commercial on, Angie.
yeah,
So
for sure."
that's not where they're looking. So if that's what you're
Nope.
going after, you've got to find the right platform to use it. So I
Yeah,
think that it just takes, a little bit of time to dial that in, and
right.
then you have a runway that you can take off of.
Yeah. Oh, that's solid. I always feel terrible too when I see an ad pop up on my Facebook from a dirt world guy who just his ad literally just says, "We do forestry mulching, call us." And you're like, "Okay, like what? Who are you? What do you do? Why should I
Yeah.
call you and not the other 50 that are around you?"
Yeah. Who
And
needs
and
forestry mulching?
yeah, and
Why
who
would I
needs
need
it? Are
forestry
you
mulching?
targeting people who need it? Because I don't have any forests to mulch. That which I always find funny too, because I'm like, oh, I got targeted, but I do click around a lot of forestry mulching stuff, so I get it. But yeah, that's it. One of the questions that we ask guys all the time is, what differentiates you, right? Like, what makes
Hmm.
you different? Because that's the angle and the hook in terms of knowing like who you are is going to set you apart. So when we're running ads for you or you're running ads on your own, what makes you different? What makes you stand out? And it can't just be that, well, I do good work and all my competitors suck. Like it's like
Hmm.
don't don't be a tear everyone else all your competitors down just to make yourself stand out, but actually think
Yeah.
through. And it's a hard practice to think through like, all right, what is it? Is it price? Is it position? Is it the machinery? We got some clients who have said, my ability to mulch in half the amount of time as my competitors because we have a larger machine, faster machine, newer machine. They're
Hmm.
like, there you go. That's helpful. That now someone doesn't have to take a week to get a project done. You can get it done in 2 days. That's great. Some
Yeah.
people love that speed. So be thinking through like, what is it that actually makes me unique that I can put as an angle as to why someone should call me and not my competitors. And
Yeah.
a big one I think Amanda would agree with me on is don't make it about price. Don't We're the cheapest around. That's
Hmm.
not what people are looking for. Now you're gonna have some, but man, so many people don't want to hire the cheapest guy because they know they're gonna get the cheapest work, right? Cheapest communication, cheapest outcomes, not good.
Yeah.
So
I found it is, and maybe this is a psychological thing, but whenever I ask somebody, "Hey, what sets you apart in this business?" It's so hard to answer that on the spot. So the better way to think about it or ask yourself is, if I'm on a site visit and I'm trying to convince somebody that I'm the
yeah,
contractor they should go with, what's the point that you say all the time? What's the
yeah,
one thing that you repeat all the time? That's
yeah, that's
probably
good.
it right there.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, I like that. I gotta start using that. I didn't know you were asking that. That's good. I like it. All right, one more question for you. So, if every contractor listening right now fixed one thing on their side, what would it be? What would you encourage them to go fix on their own right now? Not hiring a marketing company, just go do on their own.
I would make sure, the Saturday test is what you talk about in
Hmm.
in the book, is be your own customer. Go to what website you have right now, what social media you have, what map listing you have, and go through the process.
Hmm.
Contact yourself. See what
Hmm.
that looks like on the customer facing side, and you might figure out some things right there on, maybe it's not actually getting to you when they submit a form.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not a very easy process to do. So streamline that as much as possible. And
Yeah.
that's going to fix a lot right there.
Oh man, we had. I don't even think I told you this, Amanda. This week we had on the sales side, we had a dude reach out, forestry mulching excavation company, and he was meeting with Dennis, our sales guy, and he Dennis sends me a message and he says, "Hey, this guy got off the phone with me and was very like, hey, we kind of have stuff dialed in around here. Here's our website. What do you since y'all are pros? Tell me what you think about my website." Took me 15 seconds to notice that the phone number didn't match. Like he had whoever built him that website put somebody else's phone number on there, which I've talked to guys in the past. Sometimes we'll go a couple months and go, I don't know why I'm paying for marketing. I can't get a single phone call, and come to find out whoever built their stuff put the wrong phone number and nobody tested it. They didn't see if it was correct, if it went to the client, and they lost out on thousands and thousands of dollars from that. So yeah, the
Yeah.
Saturday test, go call yourself, go fill out the form, make sure that it's easy to find, easy to see, easy to look up. Does it actually call your phone number? Does the email actually go to your inbox? Right? And how quick do you have stuff set up to respond to those things if you were a real customer? So yeah, I think that's great. That's a good one. Well, let's talk about a couple chapters, because I know some of these guys are going to be like, this all sounds great and stuff, but again, what's in the book that is actually going to be practical that I can actually apply to my own business if I didn't want to hire a marketing company? I just want to do it on my own. So the first one I kept coming back to, even when I was writing the book, I was like, the first thing I always think of is website, just because to me it is literally your digital business card. It's what people see. It's their first visual that says, this is who we are. All the stuff we talked about earlier, right? This is the kind of customer I'm looking for. This is the kind of work that we do. Here's some imagery about who we are and the kind of projects we work on. And it spells everything. I had to fight myself to say, is that really the first thing we want to talk about as chapter one? So we didn't. We did those other items, and you hit one of them. But let's get to website, chapter 3. What would you say, Amanda, in terms of website? How is it? And I titled it, it's your number one salesman or salesperson, right? Why would you say that it is your number one salesperson?
Well, it is really the foundation of your entire digital presence.
Mm-hmm.
Your ads are going to go there. Your Google profile is going to go there. Your social media is going to be linked to it. It's
Yeah.
where everything is pretty much routing to. And it's the first impression that a lot of people are going to get whenever they find you. So um, they're actually not even going to be scrolling your entire website. No one's going to go through each and every page except for,
Right.
probably us and probably
Right.
probably you whenever
That's right.
everyone is
Yeah.
working on the website, and then you're probably never going to look at your website hardly ever again.
Yeah.
But it is the first thing and the first impression that your leads are
Yep.
going to see.
Yep.
So you need your greatest photo or video in the background at the top. You've got to get
Yes.
your phone number and request a quote or contact us or some kind of button that takes them somewhere
Yes.
immediately at the top before scrolling
Right.
even starts. Your logo, what's your main service right there in the title. All of that happens before a single scroll or a click. And
Yeah.
just like a business card, you're just looking at that one thing, right? And
Yep.
then you can decide, do
Yep.
I keep scrolling this website?
Yep. Oh, that's good. Chapter 3 for this subject, I actually put a side by side of a healthy looking website versus one that really is a mess. I didn't try to call anybody out. We kind of hid their name and all that, but I wanted people to see, like, this is what a bad site looks like. The reality is, we've all seen them. Like, we know what a bad site is. You've got, I think studies have shown, about 3 seconds to keep someone's attention, to keep them on your website before they jump, because they're making a lot of quick decisions in that first 3 seconds of, did I land at the right spot? But even if I did, is this communicating professionalism? Is this communicating somebody who can really help me with my project? But also, is this someone I even want to work with? And I think there's this language I like to use, is there's no neutral website. Like, your website is either screaming professionalism and a bunch of other stuff, or it's screaming a lot of negative things and unprofessionalism. And you may not even mean to, but just having an outdated website with no call to action, stock images, stock video, or even now a lot of guys are using AI images. None of that, like, people don't want that. They don't want to see that stuff, and they need to know that's you and that's what you do. And where do I go from here? How do I contact you? What's my next step action that I need to take, which is we call a call to action, right? Like, click this button to call us or contact us or whatever. So I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that, but I that one gets me all fired up. Is the website.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot deeper we could go with this because
Oh yeah.
you can have that right there on the first 3 seconds of a page, but then have no service pages, no locations mentioned, no
Yeah.
frequently asked questions, no reviews, and you can still capture somebody pretty well if that top section is looking really
Mm-hmm.
good. But there's a
Right.
lot of back end stuff that helps with ranking and things like that. But to actually
Yeah.
land on a website and know that it is conversion ready,
Yeah.
you're going to see that right away. You're going to see
Right.
probably testimonials on the first page. You're going to want to know about the business, who's running it, who's actually going to come out to
Right.
your land and take a look at it, and
Right.
make sure it has your voice and it looks, there's no typos, the grammar is
Yeah.
good. So
Yes.
stuff like
That's another
that
big one.
is it'll turn someone off of a website pretty
Yeah.
quick if it's got
I
typos and
know.
things like that. Just
Yeah.
tiny
I know
things,
that's one of
but
your things, right? Like you're like hung up on
oh yeah.
grammar. I know what my wife is like. If I see something like that, I'm done. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, yeah. I had a meeting with our new launch specialist earlier, and
Yeah.
he asked me when reviewing a website, "How picky are we going to be on grammar?" I was like, "I don't know if you want to ask me that question because
No, yeah. No,
I'm going to
no,
tell you
no.
go." I said if it bothers you, it's going to bother someone else. So
Yeah.
get it fixed.
Yeah. Well, one of the pro tips I put in this chapter, and we'll say it here on the podcast today, that for website is think mobile first. Actually, we
Yeah,
like to design on desktop because we're using computers and all that stuff but when you go to launch your website, really look at mobile version because 80 to 90% of visitors to a website are going to be on mobile. Like it's for years has been getting higher and higher and higher. I think it's going to get even higher than 90% in the near future. So build it for mobile. It's for a lot of guys, it's an afterthought. I know even my early days of building some of my first websites, I didn't think about it, and I would get a call later on going, this mobile looks terrible, and I was like, oh, I totally forgot. I was just designing for desktop, and it's like, yeah, but people are searching on mobile, and so make sure that whenever whatever you design, if you guys are going to build your own websites or if you're going to have an agency, do it double check, make sure mobile looks fantastic and all the call to actions are there and that they actually work. Sometimes those buttons on mobile won't work the same way that those buttons worked on desktop. So, little pro tip for you guys who are going to go and try and do that on your own. Anything else
yeah.
to
You
add,
don't want
Amanda?
anyone clicking. I was going to say you don't want anyone clicking go to desktop site when they're on the mobile because something
Yeah,
doesn't fit on the screen.
yeah,
And I have to do that pretty often when I'm just checking out other websites, and
mm-hmm.
that's not mobile friendly. So
Yeah,
the same above the fold rules apply, but it's going to be smaller on a mobile screen than it is on desktop.
mm-hmm.
But real easy to click call button, real easy to get to the contact form. Uh,
Yeah,
the point of a website isn't for someone to say, "Ooh, this is a nice website. I wonder who built it."
right.
It's call or get an email sent to you.
Yep,
That's what we want to happen when someone lands on a
yep.
website.
Yeah, make sure that they know to take their next step. Don't just be informative, right? Don't just be a we exist, cool, now you know, but how do I get in touch with you? And also, I'll throw this
Yeah.
out there too, and I actually mentioned in the book as well. There are some of us, I'm gonna say us because I'm in this category, who don't want to talk on the phone, which is funny because people are like, "Do you do sales for a living for marketing?" I know I'm like, but when I'm talking to other companies, I want to text. I do not want to get on the phone at all until I'm ready.
Hmm.
First, I want to gather info and not feel pressured. So don't feel like give them an option to also do a text message and not just a phone call
Yeah.
or an email as well. Some guys are like, no, I don't want any of that stuff. I just want them to call me. Well, you're going to miss out on some of the population who's like, I refuse. My sister is the same way. She tells me, she's like, if I can't send a text, I'm done with them. Like she literally will go to another company. I was like, that's a little extreme, Jessica, but that's my sister. She's extreme.
That's how you filter, I guess.
There you go. All right, next chapter, chapter 6. This is another huge one for us. For a lot of years, we've made a big deal on this one. Google Maps and reviews. Amanda, I'll let you lead with this one. Why is that one important?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, getting a review shows that there is regular interaction with your business.
Yeah.
So you're open, you're active, people are coming to you, and you're interacting back. We always say don't just
Mm-hmm.
get the review, but reply to it as well.
Yeah.
Getting those consistently is going to boost all of the trust signals that you're looking for to rank
Yeah.
higher.
Yeah.
And those top three in the local pack that show up when you search land clearing in Waco, for example, that map that shows on the top with the first three, 70% of your clicks are coming from there.
Yeah.
You don't want to be below that. And the way to get in that section is continually get reviews. First, obviously, you have to have the profile optimized to its fullest.
Filled
but
out. Yeah.
yeah, I've seen terrible profiles as far as the information that's filled out, but they've got 155-star reviews and they're showing up behind or in
Yeah.
front of the well built out profile with no reviews.
Yep.
So it's hugely important getting those
Yep.
reviews. It should be such a part of your process that it's on the receipts that go out after somebody pays you with a link.
Yeah.
You've got a follow up for it, and you're doing everything you can to chase down that review from somebody. Now you
Yeah.
can't necessarily tell people what to put in a review. You shouldn't buy reviews. That's going to get flagged.
No.
Google knows.
Yeah. Don't
Google
do that.
knows.
They know. They're
So
getting better and better at it.
yeah, but reviews that mention a service, um, they actually perform a little better. They can even get a tagline on the map that appears
Yeah.
next to the pin. You just can't like tell someone write this on Google because it's
Right.
going to help my SEO.
Right.
But you can say, hey, I'd appreciate it if you just mentioned what we did for you and what you liked about it. And that's
Right.
usually going to get them writing something a little longer, which means more to Google.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. The other big one too that guys I don't think realize is when it comes to search, Google search, in SEO, right? Like the hot topic. How do I get higher on the search engines? Everyone's always thinking websites, which is what it used to be when Google first started and SEO was a thing. There was no map area, there was just websites. And so, yes, SEO was always associated with ranking websites. But what many people don't realize is that I think last number I saw was 85% of clicks actually go to the map, not the websites. It's below the map. So having your Google map verified, optimized properly, which includes, here's another pro tip for you guys who are going to set up your own map listing. Make sure your primary category is set up correctly. You would be surprised how many guys will be like, yeah, I'm a land clearing guy, and their primary category they pick is plumbing because they happen to do some plumbing also on the side. And Google sees that primary category and gives so much emphasis to it that if you don't have that right, then of course you're confusing Google. They're going to be like, well, you said you're a plumber. So now when people are typing land clearing company near me, they're giving it to all these other guys, even though you're like,
Yeah.
I'm right here. Why are they not recommending me? So primary category filled out properly, great website connected to it because that's where a lot of the power goes from is from your website into that map listing, and then all the
Mm-hmm.
other SEO stuff. Again, it's in the book. I tell you all the stuff you need to do to rank
Yeah.
on that. But that's the map is so important because that's really where you're going to get found on Google is from the map, not necessarily the website. Right? Agree? Disagree? Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I will tell you something that's really annoying to me about Google, though, is
Yeah.
they don't have a land clearing contractor category. So what
Mm-hmm.
is often chosen is general contractor, but
Yeah.
that's not going to be what you're going after. So two
Yeah.
closest options, I would pick the one that's closer to what you do more of,
Yep.
or excavating contractor. I guess three options: demolition contractor and forestry service. So if you're doing mostly
Yep.
mulching and land clearing, go with forestry
Forestry.
service.
Yep.
If
Forestry
you're
service.
doing a
Yep.
lot of site prep, go with excavation. So there's some closer options than
Yeah.
general contractor that
Right.
and if you aren't sure, look up a couple others that you know of that are your competitors in
Yeah.
the
It's a
area.
great tip.
See what they're
Yeah. Great
using.
tip. Yep, great tip. I've done that before where I'm like, what is this guy really? Where does he fit best? Let's go see some of his competitors. Oh, well, they all have this category and then go set it that one. That's a pro tip right there. Good one. Yeah. And then the reviews, obviously, that Amanda just hit for a little bit. So getting those reviews and responding to them. Another one you see is that guys will respond to the one stars real negatively, right? Like how would you say that impacts us when we see a 1 star review and the owner or 2 star review and the owner just slams the person in their response? What are your thoughts on that?
I am not sure if I would choose that one because I would be worried that they're going to kind of
Yeah.
fly off at the handle or something.
Well,
But
and let me throw in as well. What do you think about? Is it okay that they have a 1 star in there if their overall is 4.7? What are your thoughts on that?
yeah, actually, there's a lot of people who will trust somebody with a few 1 star reviews over someone that
Yeah,
just has 5 star because it tells them,
that's
you know,
right.
they've been around for a while, they have
Right.
a lot of experience. They didn't just get their friends to leave them a bunch of reviews.
Right.
So yeah, the good response to those is just super professional,
Yeah.
and make sure they're actually on your books. I would say because you can report those as
Yeah.
spam if they are, you know,
Yeah.
just bots that are leaving things, and Google will take them down. But that's not guaranteed. So you don't know if your response is going to be removed or not. So keep it as professional as you can. offer a remedy, and they can actually take down their own review if you're
Yeah.
able to remedy it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, good stuff on that one. Keep it moving. Let's talk ads. So we've got Facebook ads, Google ads, ChatGPT just came out with ads. You got YouTube ads. What are your thoughts on ads? Where does that fit into the grand scheme of marketing? How important is it that these guys be running ads? Just your overall thoughts. Again, as someone who oversees all of our ads team stuff, like you see this day in, day out. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, you should be running ads.
Yeah, I
which
know, right? That's
which
softball pitch right there.
Yeah, which platform you use is really up to your goals. That's why we ask about your goals, who
Yeah,
your market is, and things like
yeah,
that. So, especially like if you're going after civil work, they're not going to find you on Facebook. They're not looking on Facebook. They're going to be
right,
searching for the service they're looking for, and you're going to show up in that top sponsored section if you're running the Google ads.
right.
So, you need the copy of that to be um, drawing somebody in to want to find out more
Yeah,
and solve the problem for them. So a lot of problem solving language used in those. Uh, Facebook is a fun one because it's going to also know
hmm
what else you're searching on the internet.
right,
And so if you've been,
right.
this is why I love the combination of both, because somebody might have Googled something, they might have saw your ad,
Yeah,
they didn't click on it or follow through. Well, Facebook
yeah,
algorithm knows, and
yeah,
maybe they're going to pop your ad right back up where you get to have a visual. It's not just text. You can have a video playing. And so there's a lot of like partnering that goes with that. We can run
yeah,
YouTube ads from Google, um, the Google Ads platform, where there's heavy video on that as well. So a lot of this is really digging into what your goal is. Who are you going
yeah,
after, and how far do you want to go? So
yeah.
that's
That's
usually what
good.
we ask when we're recommending.
Yep, that's great stuff. We actually, I first started just writing in one total chapter just on ads, and I was like, oh, I can't. There's just too much to say and too much detail, and I don't want anybody to get confused because there's different kinds of leads that come in. Just like Amanda said, different costs. Like your Google leads are going to be more expensive than your Meta. Different quality. Your Meta ones are going to be lower, even though they're cheaper. They're going to be lower quality, less likely to
Hmm.
buy because they weren't actually searching for you. You just disrupted their cat watching videos and politics fighting with a really cool machine video, right? Now they're like, well, I guess I maybe could use this. Let's give them a call. Versus Google, who someone said, hey, I need this, so I'm looking, I'm
Yeah.
proactively ready to buy. So we get into all that in the book, and even the like what Amanda just touched on. Chapter 10 is literally called "Video Marketing That Lands Jobs." That's the big again, another pro tip for you guys. If you're going to run Meta ads and YouTube ads, video, video, video. Like it used to be that you could get away with static images, pictures. Before and after photos are still not bad. But what we're seeing is that the videos of you on your job site with your machine, drone footage, before and after footage, not just photos, but like footage, time lapse, slow mo, right? Interviews with the owner, interviews with the client. Like I'm giving you guys all of the tricks here. Get all
Hmm.
of that video and just make a bunch of video ads out of that. It doesn't have to be real long. You don't have to have professional level either. There's so many apps you could do on your own right now on your phone, just sticking all that B-roll in and letting it create for you. But we've just seen guys going from nothing to that automatically get a bump in lead
Hmm.
flow, and then obviously you can do some professional level stuff and get it even tighter. But man, that ads is a fast way. SEO is fantastic and you should do it, but it's a slow burn. Whereas ads are you're basically paying to get in front of people immediately and you get a much faster return on your investment going the ads route. So definitely would recommend
Yeah.
that.
People love watching dirt work videos
I
also.
know. I love it.
So yeah, if you're worried about it being not that professionally produced, I would just encourage that having a video up at all is better than waiting until you can get
Yeah.
a professional videographer out, because people love that stuff. I guess it's got a little ASMR component to it or
hmm
something. You just kind
hmm
of get
Yeah. You're like,
drawn in.
yeah, it's so
Yeah, I'm
fun to
always like, what
watch.
are they building? I can't wait, I can't
Yeah.
figure out what they're doing yet.
Yeah.
And then it's the end,
Yep.
full after shot.
See, I'm glad to hear even a woman say that because I'm just like, it's the little boy in me that just wants to see the machines doing machine things. Like,
It's
I
probably
feel
because I
like it is an
have
everybody thing.
boys. I was, a little more followed my dad
That's
around and
true.
built things when
That's
I was
true.
growing up.
That's true. One of my favorite videos is like when I see the forestry mulching time lapse, and you just see that little machine, and the forest just gets cleaned up, and the mulching is done.
Yep.
But even the slow mo, especially with the mulcher, and you see it shooting all of the mulch out real slow. It's slow mo. I'm like, oh, that's fascinating.
Yep.
Oh, let's see that again. Yeah, use the videos, guys. Use it to your advantage. People love seeing it. All
Hmm.
right, let's go to the next one. Last chapter one we'll talk about. This is chapter 7. So this is AI search. This was one that I almost left out of the book, just because I thought, it's so new. I don't know if I want to say a whole lot yet because I don't want to get locked. It's like the moment you write it, it's locked in, right? And we know it's
Yeah.
changing and evolving so quickly. So I did start to write it. I rewrote it with more of a higher level, like, hey, here's what it is, here's why it's valuable. Here are some of the tools that are out right now at the time of this writing, but just know things are also moving real quick, so it could be out of date by the time you read this. But what are your thoughts on the AI search, Amanda?
Whenever it started to become a thing, everyone got obsessed with it. Everyone was
Oh yeah.
asking me, how do I show up in AI? What's my rank in AI? Actually, is the question I got a lot
Mm-hmm.
of. So,
Yeah.
I hate to burst your bubble on this, but there is no ranking in AI.
Yeah,
It's not
no ranking.
one, two, it's not top 10 or on page one like it is in a
Yeah.
Google search.
Yeah.
It's how can you get mentioned? You just want to get
Yeah.
mentioned. It's also a lot more difficult to track how often you're getting mentioned, how many leads are coming from there. The behavior is just a lot different. So people
Yeah.
are searching these longer questions. They're not just
Yeah.
searching excavating contractor. They're searching,
Yep.
who's
Phrases.
the best, yeah, who's the
Yeah.
best in my area that could also handle this kind of
Right.
terrain or whatever. They're
And
doing a
doesn't smell
long
funny
thing.
if they come to my front door.
Don't know if that would be there,
Oh,
but
okay. Maybe that's just me when I'm searching. I
let's
don't
do
know.
your own qualification on searches.
That's true. I'm gonna go write a blog on
Yeah,
that.
so it's it's hard to tell who actually got to you from that also because you actually might be
Yeah.
mentioned a lot of times in a search like
Yeah.
that, but they're not actually clicking that link. They're going to go then search you and then get into your website that way a lot of the time. So even
Right.
though they heard about you from ChatGPT, they
Hmm.
didn't click into you from ChatGPT. So you have
Right.
no idea a real number of who's coming to you because they found you there. They could just type
Right.
your direct website in. So it's difficult to tell that. Um, One way that you might be able to know that you're showing up in AI a little bit more is your impressions are disproportionate to the amount of clicks that you're getting from searches. So
Yeah.
you
That's
can
good. Yeah.
actually find this by connecting your website to Google Search Console.
Yep.
Um, it's a it sounds complicated, but it's a fairly easy setup that Google walks you through. But
Yeah. Step by step.
um, watch that trend, and if you start to see it kind of getting off, that is a sign that you might be showing up in AI. And people are
Yep.
going to your website a different way. So, um, just some little, lagging indicators that you can check. But um, the good news is the SEO methods that are already widely used are also working for AI. So but there's some nuance to that. More things should be really written like conversational. Don't keyword seed. Don't just throw a bunch of
Right.
keywords in your context.
Right.
Um, you should have, it should be written to where you're showing your expertise and you're
Right.
showing your authority in the field and be as
Yeah.
descriptive as possible. So, and we've had people who say, I don't want this much content on my website. I just want it to be simple.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
that
understand that from a user
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
I do get that, but um, we're usually able to find a happy middle ground
Yeah.
where
It's that middle ground.
there's enough content to rank, but it's also still trying to keep a little bit more minimalist. But um, there's also, back end text, there's
Yep.
schema in the background that AI is reading, and they're pulling
Right.
from Reddit of all things. I remember
I
when
know.
we first found out about that, and I was like, Reddit of
Reddit. I
all
know.
places.
I know.
So,
It's and part of it, the reason Reddit is working is because it's one of the very few platforms that self governs and keeps spam off. It's very
Yeah.
strict on that, that you can't just come and start spamming stuff there or they will boot you, because there's a popularity score. Unlike social media, the other like Facebook, Meta, all of them don't do that, but Reddit gives you, if people don't like what you're doing, they can downvote you. People like what you're saying, what you're helpful, you're informational, they upvote you. And so the more karma points you get and things like that, it's helpful. So I could see where when they're building out these huge language models, they're like, where are we going to pull this info from? But it's like we got this gigantic website called Reddit, and most of the
Mhm.
stuff on there is policed well and kept from doing stuff. So obviously there's workarounds, but I
Yeah.
get it. And I'm like, how do we get better at being on it? Because it's hard. You can't just. I tried to create an account, and it's real hard to like break into it because people are like, they can smell when you're coming in and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well, it kind of goes
um,
back to what I said at the very beginning is be active on multiple platforms.
yeah,
And it's not used as a sales tool there. You're not saying, "Hey, I offer this in this
right,
county and for this much money." It's actually you're answering questions. If you're the expert in your
right. There
field,
it
then you
is.
should be able to answer the questions that people are asking
Right.
without necessarily self-promoting. Just have it tied to your Reddit
Yep.
profile,
Yep.
and that's going to build that authority across everywhere, as well as, I don't know if we mentioned this yet, the NAP consistency. And this
Yeah.
matters for SEO and for GEO and
AI. Yep.
AEO. Um, NAP consistency. I would rather. I don't know how you could say it. Where it sounds nice, but it really should be like NAP WH, in my opinion, because
Well, tell everybody what
um,
nap is, because there's a lot of guys who are like, I don't know what. I
absolutely,
just
yeah.
picked a nap.
So NAP is name, address, phone. You want
Yeah.
that to be consistent everywhere. The reason I add the other two, and I tell this to anyone who asks me, is your website also needs to be consistent and your
Yeah.
hours need to be consistent. If you've got
Hmm.
24 hours on your Google profile and 7 to 5 on your website, you're going to lose credibility with that.
Yeah.
So I would say those 5 things. It's more than just name, address, phone, but also your website. If you had an old website and you're using a different one now, it needs to be the same everywhere. Forward that domain if you need to,
Yeah.
and your hours. So all of that consistent across wherever it is:
Yeah.
Google, Apple Maps, Yelp, Facebook, Reddit, your website, everywhere
Yep.
should be exactly the same with that information.
Yeah. Because of this, we've actually got, for our own agency, we're at like 9 social media accounts. Do I want to be doing that? No. But I know that that's part of the AEO, the getting found by AI, is being found everywhere. That's kind of the general rule. Just because we're getting short on time, I want to move. One pro tip I want to give you guys on AI: if you want to get found quicker and more frequently in your area for your industry, some of you guys are going to like balk at this. Put your prices on your website. And
Hmm.
the reason being is that one of the most sought after searches for all industries, all contractor industries, is pricing. People want to know the pricing. So a common phrase that people are going to ask ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and all those is, what does land clearing cost in my area? What does excavation work cost in my area? And or they'll ask questions like, who has the lowest prices for XYZ service in my area? And again, all these models are going to go out trying to find pricing info. And pro tip, most guys don't put their prices out there. And so you will have a faster way of getting found and getting recommended just for putting your pricing on there. Now, again, some of you guys are like, but I don't know what my pricing, and my pricing varies, especially for the land clearing mulching guys. Like, well, is there elevation? Are there rocks in the way? Is there a pond on part of that acre? I get it. But if you can find ways to have like some pricing ranges on your website, that
Hmm.
for this type of stuff, it's that's content on the site, but it's also pricing ranges that will help when it goes, when these AI searches start finding information about pricing. So that's just a little pro
Yeah.
tip. If you want to go fast and get found quick and often, put your pricing on your website.
Yeah. Just put a disclaimer if you need to. Like if you have
Yeah.
thickly wooded terrain or a very steep slope, that's going to affect the prices. But
Yeah.
having it on there is it's not locking you in if you've got a disclaimer.
Yep.
So
And if you're doing a range, right? Because you're like, okay, this is the
yeah,
low end, this is the high end, you'll find something in the middle. And I get it, because they're like, man, but then my competitors are going to see it and all that. Well, would you rather be found by 100 people in your area, or your competitors just see your price, right? Like they're going to hear it anyway. We all know, right? We know what our competitors are charging and doing. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't worry about that. All right. That's it on my questions. Amanda, what do you have? I'm a little nervous because we didn't talk about these questions beforehand. So don't ask me anything too hard.
All right. What chapter were you the most nervous to put out there?
Oh gosh. The most nervous. Well, I had one, there were a couple chapters where I put bad examples of people's stuff, and that made me nervous to put people's, like, hey, by the way, this is what ugly and terrible or unprofessional looks like. We hid names and all that. That made me nervous. But there's a part of me that's always like, um, you're like, am I sure I want to talk about this? Is this the subject I want to do? Part of that, like I said earlier, was the AI stuff because I was like, it's so new. We're still learning it ourselves. Like I'm nervous to say, here's in a book form, here's what you need to be doing for AI when we're still figuring some of it out ourselves. We're still practicing it on our own agency. We're practicing it on some of our clients. We've had some successes. We've had some stuff where, like, does that really move the needle? Or is that just kind of like online banter? People are like, oh, you should be doing this, but it doesn't really matter. And the other issue is stuff changes so quick that some of the stuff we're doing right now may not even be important 3 months from now. So
Yeah.
that AI, all the AI stuff was just a hard one for me to like. Am I sure I want to write about this? Am I sure I want to talk about it? Am I sure I want to give details? And I do. So in the chapter, you're going to see some detail, but it is more of a 1,000-foot view topic than website SEO, Facebook ads, some of that stuff where I'm like, oh, we can get into nitty gritty nuts and bolts on this. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would say probably AI one was the hardest.
Yeah. It's going to be the fastest changing for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So, someone has a small budget. What should they put their money in first for a fast ROI?
Oh, that's relative, right? So, what's small budget? I would say if you want fast lead flow, you got to find a little bit of money to run some meta ads, Facebook, Instagram ads. Quick, just get it up. Take you in one day, you will have the whole ad platform set up and running and start generating leads within. Depend again, if you got a small budget, there's that learning period right after you launch. Could go longer for the small budgets, could be shorter for a bit bigger budget, but either way, running some ads. Now, if your budget can't even do ads, and maybe the question is like, where is that line for a healthy budget? I would say spend at least on your ad spend at minimum $700 a month on your ad spend for Meta. Again, I think that's a really low budget. There's some areas that's probably not even quite enough. Some other areas, less competitive, it may be just enough. But if you have an even smaller budget, I would say go build that website and then get you a map listing. It's free. Doesn't cost anything from Google. So now you have an optimized map listing. You can go to the book, follow the instructions, all the stuff you need to fill out. Go to your website. It's in the book. Talk about how you're going to build out your own website, all the stuff it should have. It's got visuals for both. And now you've got SEO basically getting started running in the background before, at a very small cost, you bought your domain. You may have paid, if you're going to build it yourself, maybe you paid like Duda or Wix or something like that. If you can get WordPress, even better. There's some plugins to help you with your SEO. But yeah, I would say if you've got a really tight budget, at least do that and get that off the
Hmm.
ground so that you can start. And I've told guys before on the phone who are like, well, we just can't afford marketing right now. I'm like, well, if you can get the site up and running, you can slap that on some business cards. You can slap that on your machine,
Yeah.
on your trucks, on some bandit signs around your area. At least it's a place for someone to land on and go, oh, okay, that's who y'all are. And on connected to all your social medias. So bunch of free stuff out there to do. That would be a low cost thing in addition to your social medias and your map listing. And now you've got something for people to see and make decision on whether they want to hire you or not.
Yeah. There's one topic that I didn't see a lot of information on in the book, but something that's really important. And I know it's hard. It was probably really hard to narrow down what parts of this do I go into in the book when I could probably write volumes over it. Um, so financing, why is that
Ah,
important for
oh
guys in
yeah.
this world?
Yeah. So here you go. I literally made a video yesterday on this topic on our YouTube channel. Um, Amanda, you just went to go buy a new truck, right? So you're at the dealership and the truck you want, I say, got it. It's right here. Here's the truck of your dreams. It's exactly what you said you're looking for. That's $85,000. Do you have 85 cash laying around to buy that?
I do not.
Probably not, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't. A lot of people don't have 85 grand laying
Yeah.
around. A lot of people don't even have 10 grand laying around for something they even that they need and want, right? But what if I said instead it's 85,000? What if I told you it's actually only $448 a month,
Oh, I can afford that,
right? Like
you
that's a
know?
number that's like, oh, okay. And we all do that. We live in a society right now that's all about monthly payments. We live our financial life based on what we can afford in terms of monthly payments. So we
Mhm.
think about going on vacation. People are like, can I afford the monthly payment? If people want to buy a car, people want to buy a house, people want to pay for Netflix. Like everything's on a subscription basis. And we think through what can my budget afford monthly? So if the top companies in the world are selling on monthly payments instead of the big ticket, why wouldn't we do that in the dirt world? Right?
Mhm.
Like, so oftentimes these, especially on the residential side, will call and ask for some project done. For our land clearing our land clearing forestry mulching guys, an average day rate is like 2,500 to 3,000 a day. And even there's some people who can't even afford that, but they can afford a $75 a month or $175 a month payment. So it's a no brainer that if you can offer financing, which you can, we have a partner that we recommend to every one of our clients. They get 10% discount for signing up through us with this finance company. Even if you're not a client of ours, you can go to our website. We have it on our website, landclearinginsights.com. But get you a finance company that now allows you to sell based on monthly payments. And I guarantee you start doing that more frequently, you'll be able to close more jobs. I'm pretty sure most car dealerships will go out of business if they only sold on the sticker and didn't
Oh,
sell
yeah.
monthly payments, right? Like, how
Yeah.
many people would really be buying cars then if it was always no full cash 85? Oh, so
Yeah.
I feel like the dirt world is so far behind. I've watched literally, we all see the roofing industry has done this, plumbing has
Mhm.
done this, HVAC has, all the other trades have figured this out. They all offer financing. Why is it that the dirt world doesn't do this? I'm like, my mind's blown on this one. So I'm like,
Yeah.
if they do it because they've learned they can sell more of it, then we've got to start doing it too over here in the dirt world. So land clearing, excavation, demolition, even like septic installation, all of those high ticket items that have residential and hybrid commercial, start offering financing and watch your sales increase. That's my thought.
Yep. Yeah,
Get
a
all
lot of those
fired up.
other services that use it are like emergency, like your air conditioner's out
Yeah,
in Texas,
yeah,
you need it right away, so you're going to finance that. But,
right.
maybe there's some rolling with mortgages sometimes for site prep and stuff like that, so it's financed in a way, but
Sure,
you don't know when you need
sure.
your
The
septic
cheese he's
tank
gonna pass it on.
that's 40 years old,
Right,
replaced, dug up and
right,
done again. So that's a different cost
right.
that
For
somebody
sure.
can pay monthly for. And you don't
Yep.
have to chase down the payment.
Right. And they get it up front, right? So that's the other
Yeah.
pro, is that now you don't even have to do a 50%, 50%. Like you get paid up front and they work out their monthly payment with the finance company. So it's a win-win for everybody. They get monthly payments that are affordable, you get the full amount you were needing, and then the finance company makes the interest on top. And now everybody wins and you can close more jobs that way. Now there'll be some I've talked to a couple of our guys who are like, yeah, we've tried it before, we didn't like it, we didn't like the arrangement. Oh, go find another finance company. It doesn't have to be because
Hmm.
you had one bad experience doesn't mean they're all bad. And yes, you'll find some people can't have they have bad credit and can't get financing. Understood as well. We're talking about this middle range of people who can afford monthly payments, have a good enough credit to get it. They just need the option. And so they can either pay
Yeah.
the full cash option and maybe they get a discount for cash, but also give them a finance option and watch your sales go up.
Yeah. Well, I got one more.
Okay.
What's the most misunderstood thing about marketing in this industry? So something that maybe they're skeptical of that actually works.
Marketing agencies in general. I think I, I think that's like the biggest pushback we get so often, and to this day, every single day, I have to clean up the comment section of our ads. But I literally will post like we have some video ads running right now for our own agency that's has me not none of us talking. It's just our client sharing their own experience in a positive way, and people are like, "Scam! It's all a scam." I'm like, what? The dude's literally saying the opposite. That's so weird. Part of it is just overcoming this fear of marketing doesn't work. It's just you need to just let your work speak for itself. You need to build relationships. You need to keep working on your word of mouth and referrals. And I would actually say, yeah, do keep doing that. That even for our own agency, referrals
Hmm.
are the best close rate we've got because they're the easiest. We all agree for all businesses. When someone's referred, they already trust you. So marketing is a lot of trying to get over the hump of I don't trust you, and
Hmm.
that's problematic for all industries, even for our dirt world guys. They also are trying to get over that hump. People going, yeah, I mean, okay, I hear the price, I know I need it, but are we sure this is the guy? Are we sure we're not going to get screwed
Yeah.
over? Is he going to just close his doors after he works for us? And if we have some bad experience, we won't be able to get him to come back out. So there's marketing in general, I would say, is just really hard for people because they're like, and then a lot of people have tried marketing and been burned. There's some marketing agencies that are
Yeah.
out there. I usually say there's a couple of categories. You've got scammers, true scammers, guys out there literally just trying to use marketing as a way to scam people out of their money. Then
Hmm.
in the second one, there's really three categories. Second category, they are marketing agencies that are not scammers. They mean well. They just don't really know what they're doing. They watched a couple of YouTube videos on how to do marketing. They think they can go sell it. And I'm like, you're actually the guys that are giving us a bad name. I feel like that's a lot of the negative, the bad experiences are those guys. And then the third one are the guys that are experienced, knowledgeable, putting out good work, good communication, providing results. Um, and I would say that just because you've experienced the bulk of those bad ones doesn't mean that all marketing is bad. And you don't have to be scared about it. And
Correct.
again, the book, like we're trying to put practical things in your hands that you could just do yourself so that you don't have to
Hmm.
feel like, oh, it's just another marketing agency trying to get my money. No, no, we want to help you
Right.
scale and grow, but at the end of the day, I just want you to be successful. So you don't need to pay us for it. Go do it on your own if you think you can do it.
Yeah.
But then the next issue you get into are guys are like, well, I will do it myself or I could figure it out. You probably can, but do you want to be a part-time marketer on top of being a full-time business owner, doing the
Yeah.
job? And that's the next problem that always pops up for guys when they just try to do it on their own is, oh, now I realized how much work it is. You're like, yeah, that's why we have
Yeah.
18 employees because it is a lot of work to do good marketing.
Yeah. Now you're not even in the machine anymore, which you're
Yeah.
trying to be in. So,
You're in the machine during the day, and then by night you're in front of a computer trying to do that. Well, when's time for your kids and your family? So and I made a video recently about it, and I said I compared it to going out to eat, like because somebody said in the comments of one of our ads, he was like, "Why would you pay people for marketing?" And I said, "Well, why would you pay a chef to cook for you? Do you know how to cook? Like I know how to cook, right? Like I
that's
know
one
how
of
to
my
cook."
favorite.
I'm
That's one
like,
of my favorites.
I know how to cook, you know how to cook. I'm pretty sure we all know how to cook. But
Hmm.
sometimes I don't want to cook. I want someone
Yep.
else to cook for a couple reasons. One, I don't have time. Two,
Hmm.
I think they're going to do a better job than me. Even if I do know how to cook, if
Yep.
I really want good food, better than what I can do, I'm going to pay a professional to do it. And that doesn't make it wrong or bad. It's just that's fine. If you want to do it yourself, do it yourself. If you want at a high level, pay someone else to do it. And that's what we do when we go out to eat. So on another level, that's what marketing I think is
Hmm.
professional marketing. And I think that's a fear for a lot of guys. So
Yeah. Well, what I did really like about the book is that there are some actionable things, really practical
yeah,
tips at the end of
yeah,
each chapter. So, if you want to try it on your own, there's some real good
yeah,
quality tips at the end of each chapter that you
yeah.
can give it a shot and hopefully it works for you.
Yeah, yeah. When one of the things I try to do was obviously, like you said, put a lot of action items. Every chapter has action items, but also I did try to put some pro tips in every chapter. Kind of like, yeah, here's some basic level stuff you could do, but if you really want to do it like a marketer does it, here's like a
Hmm.
higher level pro tip that you can implement on your own if that's what you want to do. And again, the book is really, you're not going to see us going like, sign up for discovery
Yeah.
call, like come hire us, hire us, hire us. It really isn't. I tried to really make this, to put a lot of time and energy into making sure that it was a playbook that we could just hand to you. There's a Kindle version, digital, it's half the price, or you got this one. It's not even an expensive book. So you guys can find it on Amazon if you want. Or you can just reach out to us if you're still not sure where to find it. Just reach out to us, and I'll send you guys a copy. But I think that in doing this, it will be helpful and beneficial. Oh, the last thing I'll say too is I've had a couple guys say like, Well, I'm in a lateral industry. Would it be helpful for me if I'm in, tree care? I don't quite do
Hmm.
dirt work. And I also try to write it that it's general. There's a lot of good general principles for all contractor types. Now, I would say if you do insurance and real estate, no, it's not a good book for you. That's a whole other way to do marketing. But if you are a contractor who provides a service in the contractor space, it's still going to be beneficial. There's still a lot of good points. You're just going to, some of the practical little details are going to be really geared toward dirt guys, but it'll still work for you. I got a good buddy of mine who's a handyman. I gave it to him, and he was already like, "Oh yeah, I'm already starting to do some of the stuff in here." I was like, "Good,
Nice.
okay, then it shows it works." So, well, is there anything else, Amanda, that we did not hit that we need to talk about? Because I know we're right here at the end, but is there anything else we need to throw out there before we call it a night?
Yeah, when's the audiobook with you narrating coming out?
Oh gosh, I got to learn how to read first.
Oh, I'd buy that version.
Yeah, right. If you want to hear me screw up my words right and left, that would be me. My wife would laugh at me nonstop.
Yeah,
No,
it
I
would be
don't know.
entertaining.
That's definitely not. Well, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you are on any of our podcast channels, like, subscribe, leave us a review as well. That helps other guys find us. Hopefully, this has been beneficial to you. And we're going to keep interviewing more guys like you. We've got a couple more signed up here in the next 2 weeks that are going to be doing some fun episodes with us as well. But Amanda, thanks so much for being on and being a unique, different kind of guest on the show. Hopefully
Happy to
everyone
be here.
gets
Thanks for
it.
having me on. Thanks for asking
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll call it a night, guys. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great evening, and we'll see you on the next episode.